All right, my next guest has played with everyone from Alice Cooper to Mandy Moore. Yes, that Mandy Moore. We'll discuss.
Thanks, Don.
He's currently shredding in Five Finger Death Punch, and you saw a little of Lift Me Up that they did with the metal god Rob Halford. Dude, welcome to the show. I see you, even
Yeah.
virtually, you are being safe and healthy.
Well, I thought, because because we're doing this over Zoom, I thought naturally I should wear my mask.
Right, that's a Chinese company. You don't know if the virus is somehow getting through. I'm with you, man. We'd love to see your beautiful face if you want to take
I'm
it
going to take
down.
this off. I just thought you'd appreciate the sentiment.
The fuck the virus. Yeah, I think we all feel the same way. I suspect we might see a couple or hear a couple fuck the virus songs. When people start dropping albums again. But hey, with that Halford thing, man, I know you guys were already on your way to being a very big band, but did that like cement it for you? Like when the metal god said, "Yes, I want to sing on a Five Finger song."
Oh, yeah. We thought there was no way he's going to do this. I mean, he's the metal god, the icon, the guy with the famous voice. And does he need to help young bands? I don't know. But Rob, now that I've had a chance to get to know him, he really has chosen a really inspiring path. His whole thing is like, okay, he's been sober for 30 something years, right?
Yep.
And he's just kind of taken the approach of I'm willing to help anybody that's climbing the ladder, and I'm not too cool for school, and I'm friendly. And we toured with Judas Priest, and he would watch our show we were opening for them, and he would stand in the wings every single night and watch the show.
Yeah.
And I remember like all my guys were in the dressing room going, "What's up with Rob? He's like coming to check out the show every night." And so I asked him, I said, "Rob, I mean, it's loud and you're, why do you come down and put yourself through that?" And he goes, "I love the band."
Right. Everything has to end on an upswing. I love that.
Yeah.
I love the
Because I
band.
love the band.
Yeah,
I was like, awesome.
anything he said, I could listen to him talk forever. So yeah, that must have been obviously a great inspiration for you guys. How about with sobriety? Was he an influence that way as well?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, if you expect, this is my opinion, but we were all kind of climbing the ladder and piercing through new levels very quickly with the Death Punch. And what you realize is that there's a tremendous amount of activity and stuff to do to service the entire planet. And there's 5 guys and the world.
Yeah.
So with popularity, and we felt blessed. I'm not pontificating or anything like that. We always felt very grateful and very blessed that it worked or was working. And so, but what comes with that is that everybody is trying to connect with one of the 5 of us. And so it's just the sobriety thing is there's just no way you could successfully grow your band and do all those things with a hangover or being up on, stimulants all night or any of that crap.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the last time I was on your tour bus a couple summers ago, your bass player said, "Hey, just so you know, there's no booze on the bus," and I was like, "Yeah, that's cool." And we just all sat and watched a hockey game, and it was great. And obviously, that leads to great creativity. It's my opinion, but I'm sure you'd probably agree. But I think the new album from you guys, Fate, is the best one yet. And you have a big hit on there, probably your biggest yet, right?
Yep. I just found out today that A Little Bit Off. Well, it stayed at number 1 for 4 weeks, which is that's the highest performing single that the band's had on the charts. And it's been at number 2 for 2 more subsequent weeks after the 4 weeks at number 1. So we're number 2 again this week. So it's a pretty good run for that song. And I don't know. It was one of those things where I play a lot of acoustic guitar at home. All my electric and loud stuff kind of lives upstairs in my studio. But when I'm downstairs at night, I always have an acoustic guitar laying around. So almost one idea a day, I'll just hit the memo on the iPhone and start. I can come up with them so easily. I don't know. It's kind of like a piano. You can hear all the chords and the way the harmonies stack together on acoustic.
Yeah.
Because you can really hear it's not distorted. It's very clear, and you can hear the music.
Yeah.
In the acoustic guitar.
And you told me
I find myself writing on that quite easily. And that was just one of those things where I worked it up real quickly at home, showed it to the guys. They said, this is going to be an important song. But you got to remember, music is only half of it. If Ivan hadn't delivered that really cool, poignant, relatable lyric, that really is the catalyst that pushes songs over the edge, is when people really can absorb and relate to the lyric.
Yeah, but the thing I like about the story, because you told me, was it's just, you had your acoustic, you strummed out the intro, and you recorded it quickly in your house, and then when you tried to duplicate in the studio, it just didn't. Even with all the bells and whistles, you still couldn't capture what you captured in your house.
Well, our producer, who is a brilliant, award-winning engineer, has been able to get us these incredible sounding records. And so I just mic'd it up with a crappy mic, plugged it in. I had my $200 guitar for the demo. And of course, with the idea that we would go and make it really like beautiful and perfect and hi-fi and the whole thing. But this, we spent a couple of days trying to replicate it. And the truth is, it just didn't have the same crappy vibe. Sometimes, making it too perfect robs it of some kind of honesty.
Yeah.
I remember this is going way back, but the Alanis Morissette record, and I know this isn't necessarily heavy metal, but I remember this story vividly. That Jagged Little Pill record was all her demos.
Right.
And they tried to take all the songs. They were like 16-track recordings. They took them all into the studio and they tried to start over, and they couldn't, but it just didn't have the same.
Yeah. Yeah, you hear that a lot with singers say, I ran in, I did a scratch track real quick, and then that ended up being the vocal on the album. Yeah, because sometimes you just capture lightning in a bottle. So for the people who are missing Five Finger Death Punch, because obviously you weren't able to tour as much for this album, the YouTube channel is great. There's a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff about making the record. There's Five Finger Death Punch Quarantine Theater and all that stuff. So a lot of content on there to look for. Something I mentioned I wanted to talk to you about, because in a weird way, kind of under the wire a little bit, Five Fingers kind of got a little reputation for doing covers, and I think maybe because it's the mix of different types of covers. You've done Mama Said Knock You Out, House of the Rising Sun, Bad Company. So I'd seen this list. It was the 12 rock and metal cover songs that are better than the originals. So first I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite cover that you guys do?
Oh, that's a good question. There were definitely some that I thought turned out really well. And there was definitely some that I thought, if I never hear this again, I'll be perfectly okay with me. But you have to swing. You don't know. I mean, somebody might say, what do you guys think about doing, like, I don't even, I mean, Jim
Bananarama.
Croce, Time in a Bottle, and you'd be like, okay, yeah, I don't see that, but you don't know.
Yeah.
When and Ivan was a big part of picking these unexpected choices for cover songs.
Right.
And, Ivan he's a genius. He has a gift and he has a very specific vision. And so when he says, I can sing the shit out of Blue on Black by Kenny Wade Shepherd. So it's one of those things where you go, okay. But we never shut him down, because he also said that about Gone Away and Bad Company.
Yeah. Right.
And I didn't want to do Bad Company at all.
And like you said, if you don't take a swing at it, you don't know. I mean, imagine if Judas Priest did not take a swing at the Green Manalishi, which is probably the rarest Fleetwood Mac song out there. I think we could both agree that that's a cover song that's much better than the original.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I after touring with Priest and getting to know Rob and the other guys, they're all really fantastic guys. And Richie Faulkner is one beast of a guitar player.
For sure, man.
Beast. I tell him, I would text him and go, dude, you're so fucking good on this Firepower record. I'm humiliated. Thanks. You ruined my whole day.
He perfect guy to step
one
in.
One of my favorite players. He's awesome.
How about Metallica "Whiskey in the Jar," which is a cover of a cover? But if we just go with the premise that Thin Lizzy really has the definitive version, look, I love Metallica, but no way is it as nearly as good as Thin Lizzy.
I like their cover of the Bob Seger tune, "Turn the Page," maybe.
That worked better. Yes, I agree. Yep.
And because it's minor, it's serious. So, and the thing about James, I mean, they're a heavy metal band, but not like heavy metal today. Heavy metal today is like, people think of heavy metal as Lamb of God and like really serious, aggressive metal. They sing. James sings. So they can cover the whole gamut. They can do something very fast, thrash, aggressive, but they can also cover something like a Bob Seger song, and it works. Yeah,
James has become a real legit singer over the years, man. He really worked hard on not just being a growler. It's obviously given him tons of longevity. We'll do a couple more. How about Hendrix, "All Along the Watchtower"? You like that better than the Dylan one?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. More energy to it.
Yeah, because I'm not a folk fan.
Yeah.
And Jimi Hendrix, I have a great reverence for all of the original guitar heroes, like the Jimmy Pages, the Ritchie Blackmores, the Hendrixes, the Claptons. They're just, you don't see that anymore. Yeah. So back when Jimi Hendrix hit the scene, everyone was like, holy moly, this guy.
Yeah, you can't forget the originators, but yeah, although Bob Dylan wrote the song and performed it first, Jimmy made it his. I think the best, the one that's not on here now that I'm looking, I'm really surprised. To me, why? Because it's not real. It's not a metal or hard rock band covering another rock band. But I think Johnny Cash's version of "Hurt" from Nine Inch Nails is, even Trent Reznor said, that's Johnny's song now.
Boy, I forget how deep you guys are with your encyclopedia of music. But I was just thinking about a cover song. I liked when Guns N' Roses did the Paul McCartney song, "Live or Let Die." I always thought that, what a great choice, because that thing rocks live.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, man. You're just so casual. I can't. I'm trying to read your body language. But you've actually contributed some of your knowledge of the scene, a lot of your knowledge of the scene, through your documentary called "Hired Gun," which I got to see in full finally. And man, super well done. It really shows the life of a hired musician who gets to play in this great band, but they basically get none of the accolades. And you were a hired gun. I mentioned, obviously, earlier you played with Mandy Moore and obviously Alice Cooper and a bunch of other people before you were able to transition out of it, but some people didn't have that kind of ending.
I mean, look, for me, I found it frustrating because I really wanted to be an artist. And so when I got into the business of playing for other people, I was essentially sort of living the lifestyle on the bus, on the big stages, in the hotels, and kind of living the lifestyle. But then it kind of became obvious to me that I'm really just an employee. And I kind of wanted to make my mark, as most musicians do. But what I'm not trying to be a filmmaker. I wanted to make a film, and so I went deep. And it was funny because on the way into interviewing people, they were like, "I still work for this person, and if you're expecting me to drop a bunch of dirt on them, it's just not going to happen."
Yeah.
Well, then an hour and a half into the interview, the cameras are rolling, people get comfortable, and they start just hitting on stories, and you're like, okay, keep filming. This is the part. And so I would just crop everyone's 3-hour interview down to like 8 minutes of the really shocking good content. And then I just stitched it all together. I shouldn't say I stitched it. I had a very talented editor, producer, writer help me with it, who did the Foo Fighters Back and Forth movie, Tim Calandrello. And we just said, it's just got to be compelling story up against compelling story to the next compelling story. And so he just stitched it all together. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, you highlight Rudy Sarzo, who obviously played with Ozzy and Whitesnake, amongst others. Liberty DeVito, who was Billy Joel's longtime drummer. Even Jason Newsted, who was a hired gun before he transitioned into a full-time member of Metallica. So highly, highly recommended. It's a great thing for fans to know, because fans do ask all the time, like, who's this guy? And like, wait, why is he was in that band, but now he's over here? And then how does a guy go from playing with Haley Duff to being in Five Finger Death Punch? And it really it explains the musician's journey. And then I know you also mentioned to me before we wrap up that you wanted to work on a companion book as well.
Well, for Hired Gun, yeah, I think, I think that the greatest joy that I feel these days is to try to help other people. And I know that sounds really heavy, but I'm very satisfied with what we've managed to build and the level that it's gotten to. And so there's no other material items or anything like that that really brings true joy. I find joy in trying to give back. And so I'm always the guy who's listening to people's demos or responding to people's DMs on the socials, because we're all just people. And we were all at one point musicians that had the talent, but just were undiscovered. Yeah. So I never assume that just because somebody's an unknown, that they don't have something to offer. I'll listen to everything and anything and try to help if I can.
Well, you've certainly been on an amazing musical journey, my friend, and I wish you the best going forward. And next time I get out to Vegas, man, let's put on our Fuck the Virus masks and go out and have a little chat, or maybe a little coffee, a little dinner sometime.
I'd love to, and I'm very happy to see that you have this show happening, and I love that you have your the picture of Peter Criss with Ed Trunk in the back. That's hot.
Which one, Ed Trunk or Peter Criss?
Well, I'm a huge Kiss fan.
Yeah,
I've never hidden that. So just to see a picture of Pete back there is cool.
Absolutely, sign the inside of my Kiss Alive 2, which I still open up and look at in awe. All these years later, now that I'm almost in my mid-30s. All right, Jason Hook, thank you, brother, for the time, man.
Oh, you're very welcome. Anytime, Don. I'm proud of you, man. Good luck with everything. If you ever need anything, just let me know.
Stay healthy, brother.
Okay, bye.
All right.